figure your hand out. Repeat after me. Tell about the rising. How noted and one known. Tell about the fallen. How noted and one known. Report all thinking planning. How noted and one known. Report all feelings. How noted and one known. Report all dhammas that arise. How noted and one known. Object noting what is known. These 3 points are key. Include these 3 precisely, clearly. For each object seen. Don't add fluff. Just say the first short and to the point. Be free to no extra. Just the essence. In reporting, use time carefully. Let us recite again all together. About the rising, how noted and one know. Tell about the falling, how noted and one know. Report all thinking planning, how noted and one know. Report all feelings, how noted and one know. Report all dhammas that arise, how noted and one know. Object noting what is known. These 3 points are key. Include these 3 precisely, clearly, for each object seen. Don't add a flag. Just say the first short and to the point. Be brief, no etc. Just the essence. In reporting, use time carefully. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I would like to talk about non-self characteristics of the 5 aggregates. The third characteristic of non-self, another, does not become apparent because it is conceived by completeness. When resolution into the various elements is not given attention, here again there is a notion. The notion of completeness. In reality, there is no completeness, but we always see things as compact, as solid things. We think that even the mind is just one solid thing. We think it is the same as the mind a few moments ago, a week ago, or a month ago. And even though we have different minds, the seeing mind, hearing mind, smelling mind, and so on. We see them as a solid thing. We lump them all together as one. So these aggregates also are conciliatory by the notion of compactness. In reality, it is not so simplistic. When you see something, there is a thing to be seen. The eyes to see it, and the seeing on our part. We have the eyes and the seeing. Though the adult seeing is composed of many different moments of small mental states. Normally, you do not think of it that way. You take it as just one thing, seeing or I see. The same notion applies to hearing, smelling, and so on. Because you take each process to be one solid thing. You take a complex thing or process as a mass. And as long as you cannot break this mass into its components, you will always think in terms of I, a person, or an individuals. There are also different functions performed by different mental states. We will continue using seeing as an example. Seeing consciousness has the function of seeing, which is followed by other types of consciousness. They include receiving consciousness, which has the function of receiving the image of the object that has been seen, investigating consciousness, which has the function of investigating the object, and a number of other mental states which arise and disappear after fulfilling their various functions in processing that one object. But we are not able to see these mental states and processes. If we cannot analyze the seeing into different mental states, performing their respective functions, we see only the visible object, and I see or a person sees is what we normally understand. There is a difference in the way that different types of consciousness take different objects. One type of consciousness takes sight or a visible thing as object. Another mental state takes sound as object. And another takes smell as object, and so on. But we just assume that it is one mind that takes these objects, and that the eye that sees is also the eye that hears. So if we do not see the difference in the way mental states take objects, we cannot shake off the notion that it is one compact eye that sees, hears, smells, and so on. Do you understand this explanation about anatta being conceived by compactness? In order to understand it, you need to understand the meaning of anatta. One meaning is having no exercise of authority over it. The other meaning, the subject of this explanation, is having no core. Another is that which has no inner core, no essence, and no self. As long as you take things to be compact, to be a mass, or to be just one thing with many functions, you cannot avoid the notion that there is a core and inherent essence or a self. To understand the anatta nature of things, you need to break things down into elements. And there are different components. As long as you cannot resolve things into their constituent parts, you will always think of them as one compact thing. But once you are able to analyze and resolve them into their various components, the notion of compactness and the notion of set or atta are gone. So in order to see anatta, it is very important that you break things down. You need to cut things to pieces, and you need to analyze. The Abhidhamma Pitaka is all about anatta. Although it does not say that this is anatta or That is another. It tells us that everything is another because everything is minutely analyzed. Mind is analyzed into consciousness and mental fetters. Then consciousness is analyzed into 121 types, and the mental fetters are analyzed into 52 types, and so on. I think that everything is so minutely analyzed in order to show that there is no compactness, there is no core. The whole of Abhidhamma Pitaka is always pointing to the another nature of things. Although we also learn many other things from it. Everything can be analyzed into components because nothing is compact. Since there is no compactness in anything, there can be no core, no atta. When practicing vipassana meditation, you make notes of objects that appear at the present moment, and you see that at every moment the objects are different. And when you take mental states as objects, you know that there are many mental states, not just one compact mind. So you are able to resolve mind into many components. You may not be able to name those components, but you see them and understand them. It is more important to be able to resolve objects into component states. Then it is to give names to them. During the practice of meditation, you will see that your mind is not just one mind. At different moments, there is a different mind or different consciousness. One consciousness goes to an object, and another consciousness makes note of it. Note of it. Then these two disappear, and another consciousness that is thinking of quite another thing arises, and so forth. As you pay close attention to what is happening in your mind, you will see that what you thought to be one compact thing is actually composed of many small, different mental states. Once you see mind as comprising these small mental states, you come to understand that there is no core in the mind. When you see there is no core in the mind, you see the anatta nature of that mind. Now, you understand the three characteristics of all conditioned phenomenon. The characteristics of impermanence and nature. The characteristics of suffering, dukkha. The characteristics of non-self or no core anatta. Other three characteristics include in the aggregates. At the aggregates, the self-commentary of Visuddhimagga says they are not included in the aggregates because they are states without individual essence. This means that they are just a mode of conditioned phenomena, but not conditioned phenomena, so they are not included in the aggregates. Then are they separate from the aggregates? The self-commentary says they are not separate from the aggregates because they cannot be apprehended without the aggregates. Without the aggregates, one cannot see the three characteristics. So they are not included in the aggregates. But they are not separate from them. They are concepts applying to these modes for easy communication. Easy communication. The three characteristics are not parametered. Ultimate reality, but are attributes of ultimate reality. Attributes of the aggregates. They are neither included in the aggregates nor are they separate from them because they cannot be understood without the aggregates. Without calling them something, we cannot talk about them without something. So they are called concepts and while given names for identification. They are connected with the aggregates and in Pali are called Pinyati. Pinyati. Meaning a particular mode of expression. It is to see these three characteristics that we practice vipassana meditation. We practice vipassana meditation. You will see them only when you practice, not just by seeing a nature, dukkha, anatta, again and again. They can be understood only through practice, not by repeating the words or just thinking about them. So, if you want to see the three characteristics, you must practice vipassana. When you practice vipassana, in the beginning, try to develop concentration in order to make the mind steady, still, and free from mental hindrances. When mind is free from mental hindrances, concentration comes. When mind is free from mental hindrances, concentration comes. Through concentration, you begin to see things clearly. You begin to see them separately. You begin to see two things occurring at the same time as a pair. The in-breath and mindfulness of in-breath, and the out-breath and mindfulness of out-breath. These things are seen separately, not mixed with one another. After seeing that, you also will see conditionality. You will see that because there is the breath, there is mindfulness of the breath. Because there is the intention to stretch, there is a stretching and so on. And then you will see objects arise and disappear. When you see the objects arise and disappear, you see the impermanent nature of things. When you see the impermanent nature of things, you also see their dukkha nature. Because when you see them arising and disappearing, arising and disappearing, you come to the understand that they are bombarded and oppressed by arising and disappearing. Continuous oppression by arising and disappearing is what is meant by the word dukkha. And when you see the impermanent nature and suffering nature of things, you can also see the another nature. You see things arising and disappearing, which means there is no core in them. If there were core in them, they would last forever. They would be together in interest, but they are separate and continuously arising and disappearing. So there is no unifying core in them. Moreover, you cannot tell them to stop. You cannot tell them not to arise or not to disappear. There is no way you can exercise any authority over them. So here too, you are seeing the another nature of things. Through the practice of vipassana meditation and through paying attention to the object at the present moment, you can see a nature, dukkha, and another for yourself. At the present moment, you can see a nature, dukkha, and another for yourself. Once you see these three characteristics for yourself, you don't have to base your faith on what other people say. Through your own experience, you can verify that the teachings of the Buddha are correct. When you see this for yourself and come to this firm understanding, nobody can shake you away from this understanding. It becomes your very own property, your very own knowledge. It is become your very own property, your very own knowledge. It is to possess this knowledge that we practice vipassana meditation. Suppose you are practicing meditation and you see your body disintegrate into powder. Or you see your body disappear, or something similar. Does that mean that you have seen another? Does that mean that you have seen another? Mahasi Sayadaw says, not yet. Because even though you see your body disintegrating and it is a kind of anatta. You still may be thinking, this is I who see it. So, with regard to the mental stage, you have not yet seen the anatta nature. Only when you see both mind and matter as arising and disappearing at every moment, only when you see both mind and matter as arising and disappearing at every moment, can you say that you have seen the nature of another? You must understand that the real understanding of another nature comes only when you pay attention to both mind and matter and see them as arising and disappearing as being oppressed by arising and disappearing, and having no control over it, as having no cord, and so on. Until then, if you see only your body, you have seen only about 50% of another, 15% of another. So, this practice taught by the Buddha is very beneficial to all of those who practice it. We are very lucky to have the chance to understand the value of mindfulness and to put it into practice. If the Buddha had not taught mindfulness, who would be able to teach us? Who would be able to teach us? We cannot find this practice or mindfulness in other teachings. My advice is not to stop meditation practice after leaving the retreat. Please carry on and keep it always fresh and alive. So, when opportunity arises, you can catch that opportunity and practice in a more serious way. Okay, we continue next time. We have to stop our discourse for today. May you be able to note the 5 aggregates of grasping whenever they arise at the season doors. May you realize their impermanence, suffering, and not self-nature. May you make swift progress in your insight and realize Nirvana, the end of all suffering. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We will recite Mahasatipatthana Odesa Pali. Ekayano ayam bhikkhave Mego sadhana Visuddhiya Soga Baridewana Samadhigamaya Yoga Domanazana Adingamaya Nyayasa Adigamaya Nivanaza Sajigiriyaya Yadida Chadara Sadibadana Kadame Chadara Ira Bhikkhave Bhikkhu Kaye Kayanubhazi Viharati Adabi Sambhajano Sadima Vineya Loke Avijadomanasam Vedanasu Vedananubhazi Viharati Adabi Sambhajano Sadima Vineya Loke Avijadomanasam Chede Chedanubhazi Viharati Adabi Sambhajano Sadima Vineya Loke Avijadomanasam Dhammesu Dhammanubhasi Viharati Adabi Sambhajano Sadima Vineya Loke Avijadomanasam. English translation. This is the only way, bhikkhus, for the purification of beings, for the upagami of sorrow and lamentation, for the experience of pain and grief, for reaching the noble path, for the realization of nibbana, namely the full foundation of mindfulness. What are the four? Here in this teaching, bhikkhus, a bhikkhu dwells contemplating the body and the body, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and disconnecting the world. A bhikkhu dwells contemplating the feelings, ardent, clearly comprehending the mindful, removing desire and disconnecting the world. A bhikkhu dwells contemplating the consciousness and the consciousness, ardent, clearly comprehend the mindful, removing desire and disconnect the world. A bhikkhu dwells contemplating the Dhamma and the Dhammas, ardent, clearly comprehend the mindful, removing desire and disconnect the world. Honorary and share merit. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Badi Badiya Bodham Bujemi Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Badi Badiya Dhammam Bujemi Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Badi Badiya Sangham Bujemi Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Badi Badiya Madhabidaro Ujemi Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Badi Badiya Ajariye Ujemi Adaimaya Padibadaya Chara Maranama Parimoje Jami Idame Bonya Asawagayawaha Hodu Idame Sila Megapala Nyanaza Pajayo Hodu Imano Punyavagan Savazadana Dema Sabi Sada Sukhita Ondu Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu